The Call of Duty League is brought to you by GameFuel. Use code CDL 2021 for a special discount on GameFuel.com. Tournament audio and team listenings are powered by Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by Zenni, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armour your eyes with Zenni Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting zenni.com/gaming.
Hello, welcome to our T-Mobile weekly drop game. Maven, joined by the glorious and beautiful Joe Merc DeLuca. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a beautiful day outside. It's May already. Can't believe that. But,
yeah.
You know, we've had some crazy CDL games. We had another Game 5 banger right there. Hoping for some more to come.
Yeah, and this one's interesting, right? We're going with two teams here that recently had a 3-0 loss to Toronto Ultra, looking to bounce back. Both teams that recently made a team change as well, position changes. Some similarities here for sure. Not sure what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah, I think that's just sort of it, right? You go through a couple of roster changes, and one of your first opponents is the Ultra, and that is not an easy one at all to have. So I think for Toronto Ultra, you take care of business, but for these two teams trying to make some changes, that's a tough matchup. We'll see, though, as Dallas Empire bring in FeLo, Guerrillas with Sheen. We'll see what these two can do.
Yeah, both looking to make an immediate impact. Obviously, a super competitive league. We've had people in, people out, and they want to stay, right? They want to be on this starting squad, so looking to put the best foot forward. But let's start to meet our squads in this matchup. Let's kick it off with the Dallas Empire. Let's check it out.
Dallas Empire have smashed the gates open. Oh no, Hook is in, you mate. Oh, it's a shot punch. Oh no! Once again, they saved the day.
So Joe, obviously, maybe not the results they want right away, but you got to think when you are letting go of a franchise-type player, a superstar, megastar, ultra-star, whatever you want to call it in Hook, this is a long-time play. Maybe you don't see immediate results, but you're hoping over the grind of the next couple months, when it comes around to champs time, you're in a better spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what the idea is. If it's just sort of, we're going to try this. We still have Hook on the bench, worst-case scenario. I don't really know, but you know they're going with FeLo. There's a lot of questions around that, but this is the roster. And I think the last match we saw versus the Ultra, the search was a little shaky, but in the respawns, they had a couple of opportunities to beat them in the hardpoint and the control. They were outslayed a little bit, but again, you're going up against your major two champions. That's not an easy first matchup whatsoever for those guys.
Yeah, and again, a team that just went against those champions as well. On the other side of this, it is the Los Angeles Guerrillas. Let's meet the squad.
With my friend, it was simple. When the ends low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike. I go hard day and night. Money on the line, keep calling. Money on the books, need all that. My kids, they'll be ballin'. Got a real bankroll, not for Instagram. My mama on the line, keep calling. Praying for me, know I need all that. Told me it's not about ballin'. Real blessed, but I'm still sinning, man. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike. I go hard day and night.
Joe, I think there are a few people in the world as happy and as excited as I was to see Chino back in the league. He is one of the most lovable and charismatic people in the league. There's not much to not like. He's an incredible dude, and I want to see him find success. But what have you thought so far of his, I guess, journey with the team?
I mean, there was obviously a big question mark around this one, both of these teams, right? You know, Vivid has looked at times like their best player. You talk to players around the league, they really like Vivid in what he can do. But for Chino, he's taking this as an opportunity. He's going to play his best. In the first two matches, they beat Paris Legion. They had a couple of chances against Toronto Ultra. What, they had a 50-point lead. It was a 4-1 S&D lead. They threw those away. They can close out those lead games, and who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's get to our game fuel keys to victory now for the Los Angeles Guerrillas. I know it's tough, Joe. It's a newly formed roster, but what were your thoughts?
Well, you look at the two matches they played, Cellium and Apathy, now that sub-duo. The win versus Paris, they were +2. The loss versus Toronto Ultra, they were -40. That is a big difference maker there. Can we find a middle ground here? And I think that really the discussion all year can their sub-machine gun players find a little bit more consistency? See if they can do that today. Find a way to close out those close maps. The maps that they have the lead in. When you're up 50 points, you're up 4-1 against a team that's, well, what people think is better than you, close those out. And then lastly, make adjustments in control. They are the last in the league in attacking rounds, 5 and 26. They got to get better at that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know we all love Vivid as a player and the aggression he put on the map. And I guess you would think in something like control attack rounds that might be great to have that. But if the pacing was off, maybe with Chino they can find some improvements. But yeah, it's never good when you're the last place team in anything, Joe. But on the other side of it, let's look at the game fuel keys to victory now for the Dallas Empire. Yeah,
and again, you go up against Toronto in, well, what, -31 is a squad against Toronto Ultra. With Hook bench, there needs to be a superstar here. Shotzzy, iLLeY, Crim, whoever it needs to be, there needs to be a little bit more slaying against the best. Crim, he needs to lead by example. This guy leads the X Factor in every single mode. You just see the difference there. When he is playing well, this team is winning, and they have to continue to work on the fundamentals. This is a big change here. iLLeY's switching to that submachine gun. FeLo in that second AR. It's going to take some time to get comfortable. And as a newly formed team, it's kind of what we talked about the Los Angeles Thieves, right? Just focus on the fundamentals, what you can control for right now.
Well, the boys will get ready to go. Both teams trying to rebound, get a win here, put themselves in a solid position, maybe heading into our next major. But let's look through our maps and modes. When you saw them, did anything look really good, bad for one of the teams?
I mean, yeah, it's obviously going to look better, a lot better for Dallas Empire because they have a lot more wins on the year. I think for Guerrillas, you get the one rate, or you get the one control you've been good at in raid control. Moscow Hardpoint, they're 1-3, but their most recent win is with Chino on it. So I think you look at a couple of these as some slower maps where Chino can get comfortable in that AR position. A little bit slower like a Moscow, but that's where Dallas has been pretty solid all year long. I mean, nothing that really stands out. Maybe that map 4 on Garrison is where Guerrillas have really struggled at 1-4. Dallas Empire 4-3 on that Garrison Hardpoint.
Well, were you surprised to see it be raid for map 3? Because I remember for you and I, our keys to victory for teams going against Guerrillas all the way back to Major 1 was to get that out of it. It's the only map they could win on in control.
I am a little bit surprised, but Empire has played it 11 times. They have a new roster. I think they want to stick with their strengths.
Familiar with?
Again, they have the stats with scrims, the way it's been going practice-wise with FeLo. Maybe that's improved.
And if it gets to the game 5, I mean, Guerrillas 3-1 on raid search and 1-3 for Empire. So if you can push this one the distance, maybe a shot to make some noise. But yeah, you come off maybe the toughest matchup in the CDL right now against the Ultra. Both get 3-0'd, both looking to get it rolling here with a W. You talked about Crimsix being the X Factor. We're to kick it off with him, but as we get Mixy here in the middle, why do you think it's been like that for him this year? Kind of up and down, that X Factor type player.
I mean, I think
it's hard to answer, I know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, as a main AR, you know, you look at some of their tougher matches, they had really had a lot of struggles with Atlanta FaZe, and when they've matched up against Atlanta FaZe, they were heavily outslayed. You get put in those positions as an AR where it's just tough to find momentum on the map. But I don't know. I mean, Crim is we've always known an aggressive AR that likes to take gunfights. And to me, if he's winning those gunfights, those one-on-ones, that's probably the key difference for me. Like, he is not your typical slower AR.
Yeah. You know, it might be as simple as that, but while you're breaking it down, it was kind of a 4 clean down for Empire, spawns out deep for Guerrillas. A little freedom for Empire to get set up for the second hardpoint, which is about to pop. You've got all the mid-map control in the world if you're Guerrillas, but now you got to work on the break. Empire, we've seen, well, on this particular hard point with some incredible breaks over this year, some incredible holds. They're going to get 3 down. The last guy really in position is going to be Assault from Guerrillas to try and find an opening. And he'll still be lurking. I mean, how much damage can he do? Well, just one before he gets taken out.
Yeah, they had a good idea of where he was in his position. And now Guerrilla's going to try and fight from the front. We've seen this time and time again. Be it that first or second kill, at least contest, right? Keep them off the point. You have Crim up top police window. Assault's able to take him down. You see 2 members from Guerrillas spawn up. They're thinking, all right, it's time to rotate. That's a very good job by Dallas Empire. They're going to get majority of the time. They're going to have a 60-point lead as we rotate to our 3rd hill. You're going to need a response here from Guerrillas. Well, Shotzzy on a 2 spree up to 7-3. Starting to work their way towards that lower side street. It's going to be Shotzzy and Crim working as a duo. You have a pretty good setup here with Guerrillas. A lot of map control. Usually we may see this a little bit layered back, but Shotzzy, he's going to check that corner, find that kill, and Silly, he's going to have to back up to bank right away. Apathy off that spawn. Now for that next gunfight, Silly's there.
Uh-oh. Crim, though, able to take down 2. iLLeY in with a headshot as well. Only 1 going to spawn up. They're ready and waiting. Crim will rip up 3 to get out to 7-3, and there's the break. They've been so good at breaking on this map, and there is another one, and now you might be getting into scary hours a bit because you don't get any kind of time here. You're going to be down 100 points, rotating to 4th. This has been stellar out of the opening for Empire. And it kind of all started with that, I mean, that big 4 down early. I mean, it really set them up great for second. Then a nice break there, and they're making it look easy, Joe.
Yeah, it's just momentum, right? It's winning those early gunfights, flipping the spawns right away, and then you have spawns for second. They just kept on top of the rotations. And then you had the layers there on that 3rd hill, but what Crim finds 3, he's able to break. Now another chance here. It's one that they need to fight back into this game. Crim, though, he's got bank control, him and FeLo. Trying to work up towards that street. Watch number 7, that's iLLeY, trying to work the pinch. He knows players are spawning up right to his left, so he's trying to cut them off. So his teammates have a 3 versus 2 on the hill. Apathy's going to be first up. iLLeY now on a 5 spree. Maybe start to think about streaks, and he does his job. His teammates able to win the battle on the hill. He won't get streaks, but the hill has been broken once again.
Nice break once again for Empire. No streaks, but how much damage can they do? Let's get right over to an Astro listening with Empire as they're coming off a spawn.
You can go all around.
Whoever's the road, I'm coming short. He's pillar.
Yeah, I'm gonna fight it.
Pillar. I think he maybe went gold.
SK's dead, Fargo.
Nice.
I'm still playing it.
He's about back side.
I got a soul old.
Nice.
I needed it. Yeah, I got him.
Oh, yo,
Yo,
last
one
guy
stop,
last guy
stop.
PQ going flat.
Yep.
He's
One's
going
on
to
low.
Let me take
Yeah.
it
Yeah, I'm going
off.
to first.
SK's open.
You
Yo,
go.
Fargo, globe.
I'm getting on this left.
Oh, behind the street. Yo, they one spun out. Yo, 2 street.
I'm holding mid window.
I still have all of
Bigger.
SK's. SK's ab done.
And she mid window dead.
I'm
He's
gonna
bigger,
flip time.
bigger.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get bigger.
I'm coming
Yeah,
up here.
glass
got me. He's put
was one. He's
Last one shot. What's on the corner?
Take a corner out.
Take a corner.
Done.
Yep.
Nice, good job. I'm here.
Put on me, plat
Yep.
globe, plat globe.
After his wave, get street, guys.
Alright, one globe, the least plat.
Looking
I'm
your
gonna
flat.
flat.
I'll kill you.
Two flat after me.
I needed it. I'm one
Kill
shot, one
this
shot.
flat.
There's 3 flat.
Keep milking this time. I'm going shoot with you.
Bottom left. Chain hurt.
There's
Yo,
no-
right,
there's
one
no-
shot,
there's
big
no-
right,
there's
one
no-
shot,
globe,
big
globe, globe.
Yeah, big door.
Push,
One shot,
push.
One shot plat assault.
Underneath you, Tyler.
One shot plat assault.
He's silly
Fargo
dead.
dead. I'm one shot, guys.
No, street on me. Street on me.
Nah, he was deep yellow.
Globe,
He was
he's globe,
deep
globe on
yellow.
you.
Glove dead.
I'm hitting through.
You could be on my rugs. I don't see anything.
I'm
Nothing
in
wrong,
at the center.
Tyler.
Yo,
Still
flash
playing
check. Here, let me flash check.
Wait,
Let me
yeah.
flash.
Go ahead. I'm plotting out. Ready?
Go.
I don't see anything top.
Nothing yet?
Top PD, one's top PD.
Yeah, back
top yellow.
window. One shot.
Top yellow, top yellow, top yellow,
Take
top
your
yellow.
time, man.
Back yellow. And one's top PD.
Yeah, spawn front, but here front.
Yeah.
Front
Yeah,
PD.
yeah,
I'm gonna go mid. Actually, I'm
whoop it
gonna
up,
go mid.
Well, Joe, you said with like the void of Hook, there's going to need to be a superstar. People are going to need to step it up. Right now, Shotzzy and iLLeY, that duo, are popping off.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you want to see. 30 and 21 from these guys, leading the way, slaying. You need a response out of the Guerrillas. They have to hold here. Apathy really struggling to break through the middle. You at least have them off the hill if you're Empire. You can keep them stacked back there. Spawn a bottom police and iLLeY off a spawn. His shots are hitting. It's Shotzzy, iLLeY again, able to find 2 more. And now on this rotation, FeLo already has positioning over towards this 3rd hill. And see where Guerrillas are coming from all the way through that towards that back bank on the old hill. That Silly's able to take down iLLeY. You have a bit of a 3-on-3 on the opposite side. Now a 2-on-3. Shotzzy's going to take him down. What can FeLo and Crim do?
We'll watch it from FeLo's POV. He gets the headshot right as we swap off. Now what can Crim do? Both have found kills. Back and forth we go. AR to AR. FeLo to Crim. Getting pick after pick. FeLo just beaming right now. That'll be 3 in a row. Reading the push. A nice shot just backing down. Trying to re-engage this gunfire with a better position. Beautiful there from FeLo.
Yeah, just great job. And a lot of the times when we see early rotations like that, the team that is holding those back spawns can kind of get this weird pinch that develops, right? The players you kill spawn out front. The other players are staying alive. So when your teammates die, they're spawning like Bus Street, which is probably the worst spawn that you could get. So those two players have to stay alive because they know that there's going to be a pinch. They did an excellent job right there. FeLo, Crim, the AR duo, able to lock that down. 120-point lead for Dallas Empire.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, like, you know, we didn't see it right away, obviously, but with Hook gone, I feel like, not that we forgot exactly, but Shotzzy was the MVP last year. And if you didn't see his tweet the other day, please watch it. Joe sent it to me and said, I'm so glad I don't play Call of Duty anymore. Like, professionally,
No, yeah.
it is, dude, yeah, he broke my ankles just watching the video. The guy's movement is absurd.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone really forgot. It's just looking at his year compared to what
100%.
Hook was doing, especially in stage 1. But he has been improving. You're seeing it here. Stage 2, all the stats went upwards. And yeah, now with that void to fill, it has to be Shotzzy. I think in everyone's minds, 23 kills leading the way, leading the game. Now 40 points away from winning this first map. But yes, you are not wrong. I watched just Atlanta FaZe playing against aBeZy and Simp. Does anyone want to do that? The answer is no. No. Do I want to play against Shotzzy? No, I do not. No.
No, yeah. Please, you gotta watch it. It was yesterday, day before, but just putting TJ on skates, unbelievable. But no 100-point club here, as Guerrillas will be able to eclipse that. Silly trying to hold bottom Eskies, but he will end up dropping as the flood comes on through. But into our third set we go. If Guerrillas are gonna make a rally, it's gonna happen here. They'll have to get a decent hold at mid, not allow a lot of time to Empire, set up nicely for second, get a break like Empire did, and then I'm talking a lot for a miracle to happen.
It's gonna have to be perfect Call of Duty, yeah. But it's gonna start right here. But Dallas Empire just feels like slaying wise one notch up as Shotzzy and iLLeY continue. Have such a good map 1 here. Dilly and Sheen trying to get aggressive. They just have to fight for this time, and when you fight for this time and overextend, that's when that team can really push through this bottom street, try to work for those spawns. That's exactly what Dallas Empire is doing. See, after his position, he's just giving all of these callouts to his teammates. He's making sure that he's locking this down, able to find that kill. That's going to give them the 4v3 advantage. See where that player will spawn up. That's going to be Shotzzy. So we're going to have a pinch here. Now Crim and FeLo, they know they have to wait for their SMGs to hit the front of the hill. But LA Guerrillas, they go right at him, able to take him down. She now up to 4.
Now, can they hold here? And then maybe get Empire spawning in the back and get this rotation to third as well? Or maybe a clean break, but so far it looks like step 1 is done. Some streaks would be monumental in trying to make this comeback happen. And Sheen not far away from getting just that. But Empire with this big of a lead, they can give up the final 30 seconds, back up, get set up. But man, I bet you wish, one more kill, how good the streak would be here.
Well, I think the Empire know that, right? You don't want to feed them streaks. So they're just going to back away. They know that Sheen hasn't died in a little bit, so they're just going to rotate. As you said, they know that lead gives them this luxury. But when you give up that much time, it better pay off. Here comes a push from Guerrillas very early on. iLLeY going to be the first one to drop. Apathy now on the hill. iLLeY's going to spawn up, and here we go. FeLo from that position. He's getting a little bit of help from Sheen. Assault the last one alive, and they're able to hold on. Great job by Dallas Empire. Guerrillas had a chance there to get right back into it.
Yeah, I mean, a break there, and yeah, it's nervous time. If you are Empire, but so far, so good. Able to hold now 15 points away from victory in the map 1 as the ARs continue to lock it down. Crim and FeLo. A solid duo in this map 1. But Silly doesn't want it to be over yet. They'll try to make sure that Empire can't close it out here. Keep an eye on those white arrows in the minimap, see how they opt to play this. If they're going to go for one final surge, or at this point, you think they got to rotate. But Shotzzy just making sure you can't get a clean transition if you're Guerrillas. Nice kills on the cutoff. Now to FeLo's POV, trophy out, set up towards bus.
Yeah, those are important kills too, because on this rotation, you want to make sure you have bus control. You don't want to allow them to get out of bank easy. As soon as that team does, so they get in that bus, that's when they have a lot of positioning. And Apathy, he doesn't have a lot of kills, but those two right there are so important. Now Assault on the hill.
Was it 2 or 3? Was one Assault or
What was Assault? Yeah, what was it?
Okay,
what was Assault?
My quality is blurry for a second there. I thought App ripped them all, but they get in. They stay alive. Silly now on 5 in a row. Maybe a chance to get some streaks. Assault beaming across the outer street. Now we'll check out Sheen over to Silly to see if he can get him. There's number 6. Another chance to get some streaks. 214, 246. Just 4 points needed for Empire. It's Guerrillas, man. You didn't start so slow. You got yourself a W, but they have come alive. Will it be too little, too late, or Joe, can they make the run? And he got the streaks.
But he's going to call this in. They know that they're rotating over to first. Do any of these connect? No, they do not. It's just the one hill. Or it's not going to be able to connect with those players. Crim able to find the first Shotzzy with the second. The early lead might have just been enough for Empire. He's going to try and do what he can. He's going to try to hang on, but FeLo's there for the trail. It's just too many players it is. Empire. Woo, it gets very close towards that back half, but with their great start, they're able to hold on.
Yeah, I was like, when I was talking through them coming back, I got exhausted, and I didn't think they were really going to do it, but my God, were they so close to getting it done. Impressive comeback, but yeah, I mean, you were down, what, like 100 or close to that through the third hard point. Just an impeccable start there from Empire, but Joe, as we wrap up that, and you get a great performance there from Shotzzy and iLLeY, especially in the early going, and the ARs, you saw their lockdown ability once they got posted up, but I guess I don't think I had a ton of concerns about their hardpoint. I know at Major 2 it wasn't quite as effective, but they've been one of the better hardpoint teams in the game. When you swap one player out for another, you keep a lot of your core. Usually this is a mode you can figure out, but where they've struggled all year has been that search and destroy. This is where I think we're mostly curious. Will FeLo have a major impact?
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time as you look at the scoreboard here from that map number 1. Just a little too late from Guerrillas. Just that great start, that early flip. The first rotation was just all Empire. Is that FeLo with over 5,000. Again, the SMG duo. That was the difference maker there. Apathy had a map 1, but yeah, can they finally figure out search and destroy? That's the big question.
Yeah, and we'll find out coming up, but you got to feel, I don't know, a little better if you're Guerrillas. You brought it back, maybe some momentum to take into the search and destroy. We'll get into that after this break.
The Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
Welcome back to Empire vs. Guerrillas. What looked like a blowout map 1 turned into a hell of a map 1 as it goes down to the wire, but shot of Empire now, and I want to talk a little bit about them. I know we did leading into the show as we went through the keys to victory, but we have to talk about FeLo because you were looking through the stats, and you can't take a lot from this. It's been a couple series, but
it's one.
One series. One of the bottom KDs in the league, but how much stock can you actually put in that?
Not a lot. I mean, it's a tough first matchup, and again, it was 2 respawns that they could have won. They played them very tough. A round 5 in control. It was a 250 to 242, I think, checkmate hardpoint. It was a very close matchup. I'm not going to take a lot from it, but we know that FeLo, the FeLo we used to know was this aggressive submachine gun, Mr. Mid-Map takeover, kind of like your aBeZys, your TJHaLys, your Apathys that we're used to seeing. Much different now. A slower AR, kind of takes his time with things, communicates very well. You can see a good map there, 26 and 22. This is a different FeLo than what we've known from the past.
Well, I'm trying to think, like, is there any player that comes to mind that was, I don't know, that fast maniac sub player that later in their career kind of matured, slowed down, became a real strong AR?
Kenny.
I think of like, oh, okay, yeah, that, I guess that comes to mind from a recency standpoint. Yeah, that happened a couple weeks ago, but yeah, I'm just trying to think like historically if there's something that comes to mind. I'm sure there's several, but it'll be interesting to see how it happens. We've always talked about the fact it's a little easier to transition that way than the other way, but I'm excited to see what he can do because I don't know. I just FeLo has had, so, you know, he's been in some grand finals. He's had some incredible performances. I'll never forget, what was it? It was the Black Ops 3. It was evac. Was it evac hardpoint map 1? Who was that verse? Like OpTic. He was like a 15 spree. Yeah, he's had some nutty moments. I remember hyping up as a commentator. Unreal talent, and just excited to see him get into the mix.
No, yeah, 100%. You know, he's been working really hard these last couple of years in the challenger scenes. He's worked with Empire before. He's helped them with their search and destroy. You know, he's done everything right. So they give him this chance to see if this changes things. Again, they're trying to compete for titles, and they think this is the right play. And we'll see how this develops over these next couple of months.
Yeah, I just wonder if like that. I won't claim to know like FeLo and Hoop super personally, but I think we kind of know the kind of guy like Ray is and Crim's kind of mentality on the game. I'm just wondering if FeLo now, they'll mix really well. I mean, I guess I could see it being a really good thing.
And again, he's going to come in and do whatever he has to do.
Yeah, he kind of has to, yeah.
Right, yeah, like he knows the opportunity that is in front of him. It's the same thing with Chino on the Guerrillas side. If he has some input, he'll give it, but if they decide this is the way they're going to play, he's going to do that. Yes, okay, that's what you want me to do? Sure, I'm going to do it. That's end of discussion. But
same for Chino on the other side.
Yes, 100%.
Well, this is where we're wondering if they'll see some improvement. I know we talked about their search not necessarily being great so far this year, but this has been a solid map for them, right? 4-2 on Express. I mean, their performance in Search and Destroy overall has just improved since this map came into play.
And you could probably say 2 of those wins, though, are due to Crim. I think having around 15 kills, like crazy round 11. So it's not like one of their best maps. It's one of their better ones, but there's that first blood. Crim, it is traded quickly, but he has taken over a couple of times and sort of done it himself. But Bomb being playing a little bit differently than what we normally see. Front of the site, iLLeY's inside of that ticket booth. You have Shotzzy, FeLo getting set up. Usually it's on the backside. He just doesn't want to get caught plenty. Maybe those catwalk stairs. But here comes the attempt to retake now. iLLeY, though, inside, able to find it. Now Apathy trying to work the flank. Shotzzy goes all the way through. They're just going to play from inside and try to work this 1v2.
App makes it a one-on-one. App versus iLLeY now, 15 seconds left to go.
I think he heard him, because he is just preeming this the whole time.
There is the kill. Apathy able to take out iLLeY. But not enough time. What was there? Like, I mean, he held it, but Pete came in at like 9 seconds or so. Just
I think right around 7.5. I mean, it was right at 7.5. He knew it was over. He just slid away. But he read that perfectly. It was a good attempt, but the timing, it just comes down to that. I mean, the time on the clock left, and
yeah, I thought he was just going to send it if he knew he was there. I thought he was going to fly, try to get the kill and get back, but
yeah, I was going to say, you seemed a little confused that round. Yeah.
Well, no, I was confused. I was like, why isn't he soaring at this? He's got to get the kill and try to get back, but you know, he's thinking maybe he's going to peek. But that's where the confusion was. I was waiting for him to just fly at him if he heard him, and he just held it. But it is a 3-0 start for App. He's going to get the quick plant down. That'll be on Empire. Try and work this retake as iLLeY, he holds the nade.
I want to see if they wait for Shotzzy. He's going all the way through catwalk, and I feel like you have to. And another nade connects. Finally, he gets a trophy, and because of that nade, Crim's going to have to peek first. Shotzzy does get here. They're going to fly on out and try to get bomb control. But the nades hit, weakens up players. It kind of throws off that push. The Empire trying to have. Now, FeLo is left in a 1-on-3, and Guerrillas a stronghold there on that B site.
Yeah, he's going to need about 40 more in the clip to maybe make that happen as they start to soar at him. But we'll see the best play here from Silly. As they get the free plant, and we've seen more of these 4-on-4 retake scenarios. They're going to hold. My Guerrillas, they tracked down the final kill and didn't really give FeLo a chance to do much in that situation.
No, but it's just that nade placement, right? 2 times on iLLeY really slows him down. Shotzzy's going through that opposite catwalk. They want to wait for him to make that push out. He gets there, but iLLeY cannot slide through, so it forces Crim to kind of try to win a gunfight without that sliding bait from iLLeY. The nice nades from Guerrillas, able to tie it up, and quickly here, Empire fly right at A. Guerrillas gave up the B bomb site. Kind of playing all the way from their back catwalk. Apathy up to 4-0, so he's still alive. See if he can turn that into some streaks.
He'll be at number 4 on the mini-map, so keep an eye. See, maybe he gets an angle or starts to get aggressive, but for now, everyone holding. When do you get this information if you're Empire? Lurking on the other side of the map is going to be FeLo. We'll see if maybe he finds an opening if they can hold this push. That's a nice first blood from Crim. App's going to get tagged as well. FeLo starting to pinch on the other side.
He's so weak.
The timing could work out perfectly, but Shotzzy just going to soar on forward. Now it gets mixy, though. Silly is going to catch one. Now going to be the last up. 2 are going to drop. Can't make the wondrous happen. There's just too many bodies there from Empire.
And that's just Crim, right? Just taking gunfights. He honestly is. He's literally stepping out of the middle train. He's able to take down Chino. He makes Apathy so weak. Crim continuously understands how to read this map. And once they get him weak, Shotzzy, iLLeY fly. Take that catwalk control, then just numbers all to Empire.
What was it that Crim said years ago about, I think it was like advice to win a gunfight? You got to know you're going to win it or something like that. I was like, all right, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, no, it is. But back to the B site we go. Is Silly and Apathy surge on forward. Apathy drops in the last round, but we'll get out to 5-1. Oh, that nade is going to be a little too good. Doesn't give FeLo much room to finesse with as we go back and forth, Joe.
Yeah, and Guerrillas, I think they're just going to keep hitting this site. I mean, you see the way they work it. Empire, last round they played for the retake, not able to do it. This time they try to send players towards the bomb, towards down low, try to counter that push. Doesn't work, so I think Guerrillas are going to just happily usually attack B on offense. We'll see what Dallas can do a little bit differently on defense.
Well, I think I asked you when this map came out after, I don't know, we saw a couple reps of it, how different it was from Black Ops 2, and you had your answers. How much do you think it's changed just since being in this title?
I mean, it's obviously a lot different. I mean, it's a lot more about the retakes and in the counter plays, and right, just hitting your nades. Back then, it kind of wasn't that. It turned into it maybe towards the later half.
I more meant like how much does it evolve like just in this title, like since it first came in?
Not too much, right? Just a lot of retakes, and it's just your ability to either counter that or hold that bomb site down.
You're gonna hold the site down. Empire just trying to get into the site, not gonna have a money chain. He finds the opening. Crim is gonna get overzealous. His one runs in front of him. And the angle is there from Guerrillas. Now into a 3 versus 2. Guerrillas have the numbers, but hello, a guy we expect to be a difference maker in this mode. And he finds an opening. There's the first. Gene, though, holding, gets another big kill. Down to iLLeY, the 1 versus 2. 20 seconds to work with bomb down right outside that A site. And can he get down and work it? Gene from up top, now on 5 in a row is big money. Gene dominating here on Express.
And this is the way they've played defensively. I mean, on offense, they're going B. On defense, they're giving up B. They'll retake it. Guerrillas, they're forcing Dallas's hand to play around this A site. The last time Dallas was able to win it, but it was behind an individual play. It was behind Crim finding that open gunfight. This time, not able to get it. Play their numbers in that 3-on-2. FeLo has a chance to maybe make a play there. Doesn't expect Cheen in that position. Now Cheen up to 7-2. And again, right back to this. Can Dallas slow this down at all? Can they stop a push towards B?
They're flying. They're trying, but the first one is Assault. A flurry of kills. 2 down from either side. Cheen, though, continues to tear into a 1v1 we go. This is Cheen for the win, for the streaks. Catches on bomb, tries to reposition. Shotzzy over the top, the slide, and that's the movement from Shotzzy. The little ledge boost over Cheen's head. Can't snap, no streaks. Empire, round victory.
And there we go. They finally get the stop that they needed. Now maybe forcing Guerrillas' hand to switch things up. And as you said, a huge kill in that 1-on-1. We'll see it from his point of view right here. Chin was on 6 in a row.
Look at this.
A couple of shots connect. The ledge slide is in. The pistol connects. And Chin plays that well. He knows that he's probably going to push the fight because the bullets are in. Tries to reposition. But sometimes there's just nothing you can do. That's one of those situations.
Yep. Fantastic win from Shotzzy. Yeah, big in multiple ways for sure. Cheen's been hot, but just can't clutch up with the 1v1. And maybe a little view of what we were talking about earlier. Shotzzy does not seem like a fun person to get in a 1-on-1 gunfight with. And he's now on 3 in a row. And right back to A. Go Empire. This time, though, a little bit of a different defensive look for Guerrillas.
Well, they probably think that there's no way they go back here, right? Like, you know, we stopped them at A. They'll probably go to B. They just won that round. They try to throw a little counter here. But this is a slow developing round here for Empire. They're trying to watch that flank. They don't see a lot at A. When you don't see a lot, what does that mean? The flanks, the catwalks, where are they going to try and retake this position from? Trying to bait them out, catch them on the rotation. Shotzzy, he's going to work this bomb plant. A lot of different positions around the map. 3 towards A, but it's all about FeLo. Is he going to get caught on this flank? Are they going to check his area? Crim, he's going to reposition. And I think this comes down to FeLo, but he doesn't turn around. He doesn't turn around. He's just watching the middle of that ticket booth.
Yeah, I kept like staring at his arrow, seeing if he'd turn, but it doesn't happen now. Salt just flying across the top tracks. Shotzzy, 3 kills in a row, but last up, oh, maybe a chance. He's got information on one more. They're on it. Tries to soar over, but Sheen in position, and maybe a little revenge there. So he'll take out Shotzzy and ensure the victory in the round for Guerrillas.
Yeah, but it's that kill on FeLo, right? That opening kill. FeLo is thinking that, well, he's just taking a gamble. He's thinking it's a 50-50. Their watch is behind him, and they push through the flank. But his teammates should probably watch it, right? With the AR, you have Crim in that position. He's hoping they go through middle. Ticket booth, if they do a jump up on their side, he'll be able to catch him. Just find that first kill and then maybe make a play. Force them to focus on you, and that just doesn't happen. He gets caught.
Yeah, I mean, he gets 1 kill and information from that position, you're good. But just getting caught doesn't give them a lot to work with. Sheen now into double digits. App having himself a game as well. They're what? 17-6 combined.
You saw that stun goes out. That connects on Shotzzy, so that gives them info. It was about to be an A hit. But I think because that stun, that tactical connects, it gives them a little bit of information. Hey, they're playing around ticket booth. What does that mean? Probably a stack at A. They're going to try and work the flank. Oh, they get that B bomb down. Been working out well for them so far.
How much time is going to go by just chasing down App before Shotzzy even helped towards bomb? Sheen just not missing right now. Another one will drop. Give him one more. Shotzzy last up. Onto Sheen. Onto Assault. App ready and waiting. Gets the final kill. Is it? Maybe it's a little stressful for Guerrillas, but Papa App ready and waiting.
He gets the kills, but he also gives a play call. He lets his team know there's somebody here, right? So let's take that bomb. Let's wrap on back. Sheen doing such a good job in this position. I think you're happy if you're Guerrillas. Apathy really had a slow map 1. On the comeback, he started to turn things around, but right out of the gates in this map, he's been playing exceptional. And Sheen up to 12 kills, leading the way. And Guerrillas tie this up 1-1.
Yeah, it's actually funny. It all comes down to App after watching him kind of toy with them on the other side. Now they mix it up. This is a rock, paper, scissors continues.
Well,
Last
I mean,
plan for Empire.
this is what Guerrillas have given them. They've said take B. right? We're going to take it on offense. We'll let you plan it, and we're going to take it on defense. They feel very confident. They understand what they need to do, where nades need to be to give them the advantage. They're trying to find that first blood. Working the flank right now, though, it's Crim. He's going to have 2 players on him. Can Crim at least deal with one of them? Not able to do so. There's that first blood. Now everybody has to move. Everybody's starting to move. FeLo inside the elevator, able to find one. Shotzzy working the flank, but Apathy, he's read it with Assault.
I just feel like you had 2-on-1, a 2-on-1, a 2-on-1. Like, the position for Guerrillas, able to isolate players. There was no trade for Empire. They get the victory there. They'll tie us up at 1-1, and I liked it from Guerrillas. They were decisive. Their retakes were on point. The teamwork was there. I know we can't hear the comms, but it seemed to be terrific from Guerrillas.
I mean, it was... Guerrillas knew they owned the B site. Defensively, offensively, they said, please go to B. We know it's a free plant. We don't really care. They understand this map so well. Well, they get a big game out of Apathy and Chino to tie the series up 1-1.
What did Chino finish with? He was at 12 last I saw. I don't know if he got any more in it, but a massive game from Sheen, and he rebounds. You know, he had that chance, the one-on-one, to get streaks, to really push out a nice lead for Guerrillas. Falls short as Shotzzy goes over the top, but finds a bunch of kills, gets some revenge, and it's a big map win there. And again, if they can get it to a map 5, because they just beat Empire on like one of their better searches. If we go to the map 5, they are looking far superior there. If it goes to a raid, inching closer to that. But yeah, 13-5, almost 2,200 damage out of Cheen.
Big game out of Money Cheen right there. Just finding all those picks. When on offense for Dallas Empire, the only time they really had control was when you had the first bloods out of Crim. Defensively, they challenged them at B 1 round, but time and time again, Guerrillas kept going after it. They didn't really make any adjustments. They stuck to their strengths, and yeah, just great plays individually out of a couple of players, and that's the difference maker there for Guerrillas.
Absolutely. It was great to see that last round. Just the way they were isolating the players on Empire to get that retake. But now let's check out the U.S. Army tactical play. It's going to be a play from Sheen in round 5. He was making a lot of plays. We saw a lot of his POV over the course of it, but his shot was on point.
No, it was just continuously challenging, hitting shots with that Krieg. You know, this is when they knew they were going towards this A site. He was playing his life. FeLo was working the flank. This was really Dallas Empire's only shot in this round, was for him to find something. He ends up taking 1 down, but doesn't expect Sheen in this position. Sheen just takes his time, makes sure he doesn't make any noise. FeLo runs right into him. Nice patience there. And iLLeY, the last member alive, has to go for that plant. And Sheen just says, you know what? I'm going to hop on this train. I'm going to get an easy kill. And that's when he goes on that great spree throughout this map.
Sheen with the big plays, dropping 13, a shot. With him making an impact on Guerrillas, we've got control coming up after the break.
The Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. Scump, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by USAA Insurance. We offer insurance that's made for the military community to help them easily protect what they've worked hard for.
And welcome back. Joe, let's talk a little bit about Guerrillas as we get ready to go into this map 3. They're coming off the map 2 victory. It looks clean, collected. It's nearly perfect from them. But I think I said on Hardpoints podcast we do that whether this team stuck together and how it evolved over the course of this year really came down to one thing. How much Bevels, the core of this team that won a world championship together, believed they could kind of rekindle that magic. And Vivid out for Chino makes me think that they think they can do that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was the whole start of it, right? I mean, that's Los Angeles Guerrillas. That's what they bought into. But here, I mean, ever since Sheen debuted, Assault has been playing exceptionally well. Even against Toronto Ultra, Assault had some big sprees. He was slaying well. Chino right there with him. Again, it's just sort of on that submachine gun duo. Can they find a little bit of consistency? But you see him so far here today, 1.27 overall. A great search and destroy map. I really got them going in that map one as well. But yeah, for Guerrillas, it's in the subs. Can they find a sense of consistency there? It was Vivid and Apathy that were really struggling. It always felt like, well, if App had a good map, they would get going. It just felt like they couldn't get on the same page, especially in respawns. Now that really that same discussion around Cellium and Apathy, just can they figure it out? What do they need to do a little bit differently?
Yeah, and it really feels like this is a title that Assault can dominate. Like, he's always struck me as a guy that if he has a team that, the best way to put this, playing the right way, in the right spots, he's in a good power position. Like, he can be an MVP type AR player. Like, he has been in the past. Maybe Chino kind of helps them find that form, helps with the comms, helps with the positioning. They play a little bit more together, and Assault can dominate.
Well, what helps Assault get to power positions? Some machine guns that can kind of clear the way, right?
Yeah.
That's really where he's been struggling. But here on Raid Control, yeah, this is the one bright spot for Guerrillas. 4-2. Dallas Empire 5-6. But you played it 11 times. You went to a round 5 with Toronto Ultra, even with FeLo. What did they learn from that map? What differences can he make on a map like this?
I feel like we've casted all of their wins here, and everyone has made me scream.
That's like I've been something ridiculous.
I know I'm exaggerating, but like what? The NYSL one, the Røkkr one, like just these moments that seem impossible that they pull off.
A lot of their attack rounds, right? I mean, who was that player? I mean, who was the one making the crazy play? A lot of the times it felt like it was Hook. So you're missing that playmaking ability now.
Well, it's kind of my question on the other side too. Like that point man, that first in, that fly and make a play type guy, which Vivid would be at times too. There's going to be moments, yeah, especially maybe in something like offense on control where you might miss that. As you said, who's going to pick it up? Nice little flank there from App. That's 4-0, and it does not get easier than that. I could have had that triple.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
probably
he
not.
Just comes on that flank, and there's 3 kills. He has the Krieg as well. If he has the AK out, I mean, it's a little bit different. He does get taken down, but you're already down to 25 seconds. If you're Empire, you got to get a point, but this has been a flawless round. You see why I think maybe a lot of teams like to veto this map against Guerrillas. Still some time to work with. And they get to this 8-point Crim with some beautiful shots there, but this kind of forces them to go to B. They have to pause this clock at least force them to rotate, because when you force them to rotate over, typically that opens up A, but you still have Silly in that position inside a ring, and with that, those kills coming in, could be it, but FeLo, he's gonna get on that. In worst case scenario, at least you have a 7 life advantage.
Hold up. What have we learned, Joe, about Empire? Until that says 0.0, I'm not counting them out, but they are down 7 lives, and it is going to be tricky, but when they pull something off, FeLo trying to hit the movement, not able to do it. 3 are going to drop into the point on defense. Go Guerrillas. Last man at the point of attack will be Crim. His head is just obliterated. Clean off by Cheen. And now, yes, Guerrillas won.
And that's just from that start. Right from the get-go, they get 4 dead. They only lose 1 player, and they just keep map control. They force them to go inside the ring. That's when Apathy makes this play. They don't even get A. I don't even know how many ticks they got. Maybe 1? On 1 or 2? It was not a lot. So just thinking about that with that change, that's a great round for Guerrillas.
Yeah, I have no idea. I was more concerned with him actually getting onto the objective than I was the progress on it, to be blunt. Okay, well, here's a B hit. We've seen some wild success out of this. I mean, you get B early, you almost guarantee a round win. But how much time does it bleed? And well, 2 kills from Shotzzy is not going to help matters. Can they hunt him down? They will get the trade, but last guy up in this position in Tiki will be App. Nice little 7-2 start from him. He's got 1 close. Nice snap. FeLo will drop. Crim is down as well. They're going to 3-stack A. They have to worry about App as well. This is almost as good a start to the offense as it was a defense for Guerrillas.
I was going to say, it was a great start with Shotzzy getting those kills. You know, the island player at the site, be able to find him and slow down the push, but App stays alive. But iLLeY, he's going to be the playmaker now, but App is still there. App was able to take down Shotzzy. He still has B control. The reinforcements now here for Guerrillas. Do have the takedown at A. App still in a position, finding kill after kill. But it's just so tough at times to where B, Shotzzy's going to take him down off spawn.
Yeah, I'll be honest, when I said it was such a good opening, I thought they were going to get like 2 ticks a day, 1 B minimum. Early in it, it gets a little bit messier, but you've still had someone lurking around B this entire time.
They're still going it. They're just going right at it, time and time again. They're flying at B. They were able to get a tick. Silly's inside a kitchen, cutting off the reinforcements. This might do it. You're going to have maybe 1 more shot, but I think they're going to give it up. It looks like they're going to give it up. It's FeLo. He's going to be the only one here.
I'm just trying to think. At least for me commentating, I don't know if we've really watched an A-hold. Like, after you get B, I'm sure it's happened,
in
but
single digits, yes.
It is tough to do.
Which is 1 set, right? Because it's a little different. You have so many power positions inside of rings. So once you lose it, retaking it is difficult, right? The B site, there's not like a lot of positions you can really fight from. All the angles are kind of down at you at the B zone. Ring is much different, in which fighting from it, you have the advantage.
Yeah, you don't have to win 7 layers. You have to win apartments. You have to win Tiki. You have to win kitchen. Like, here you just break the ring and you're good to go. Silly, I was going to say on 4 in a row, maybe a chance to carry some streak progression over, but that's not going to happen. We've still got 50 seconds to work with. Second bit of progress. That is through. 3 are going to go down. Empire, no shot. Not going to get there in time. Guerrillas dominating on both ends of the control so far. And well, maybe this is why this is the only control they are good at.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you kind of scratching your head of why Empire playing this, but they go with it, and Guerrillas now a 2-0 lead. But yeah, it starts with that B hit, and as we talked about, they just had to take control of ring, able to do so. The tough part too on defense, when you lose ring control, you have a player back on you, you're spawning basketball, right? It's like, what do I do from here? Do I go up and try to retake laundry? Do I go middle stairs? And I think even with that spawn, it kind of creates this chaos from the team of, how do we want to retake this? It's just not easy to do.
Well,
you have to go from pillars. And the more you're sitting there waiting, they're on the objective.
Well, Joe, what was the stat? Was it 5 attack rounds they've won total?
5, yeah. That was number 6.
Okay, guess how many were on this map going into that of the 5?
4.
Yes. They have won.
I just guessed that.
1 Yeah, it's correct. They've won one attack round in control. We are in stage 3 on any map that is not raid. And yet we're playing raid.
Yeah. Oh, it's an interesting one, but we're here. One to maybe look at afterwards.
If you can find it in the VOD, because the map's not going to be long.
Empire, at least on offense. We'll see. Hey, you said it yourself. It's never over till it's over.
No, I know. I did say that. Now I'm contradicting myself, Joe. Good call. You got to keep me honest.
Gotta keep you honest. They have a much better A start. They're able to get that focus on B. They have life advantage. Shotzzy's on 5 in a row. You know what helps some streaks. He at least gets the artillery.
Out of assault in kitchen. Trying to hold this off, but an Empire make this rally. We saw a terrific comeback from Guerrillas in the map 1. Fell a little bit short, but similar scenario. Down big, made a run. Empires turned out to maybe do the same, but now they've been backed up. Any position they had aggressively is gone. Apartment control now over to Guerrillas, and now you got to do this in multiple stages, especially if Cellium wins this gunfight, but not able to, and that's a nice one-on-one win there from FeLo. Maybe alleviates a little of the pressure, but you still got bodies here for Guerrillas.
And they're doing kind of what we see from Ultra. They're controlling middle courtyard. They're controlling the middle staircase. So they're forcing you down low to have to cross that point. That's not easy to do. Shotzzy, it's desperation time. He's got to use the streak. He invests it. They try to get aggressive, and the streak doesn't connect. They go 2 down.
Okay, 3 down. Yeah, just 2 players get fried off the back of the streak. Makes it that much more difficult.
The second half of map 1, like, Apathy really turned up. Like, App is frying now. Okay.
Dude, when he is on point, he is just disgusting. I'll never forget, I had a chat with him in Anaheim before World Championship, which they ended up winning, and it was long talk. He was just telling me how he was going to be a better player, and he was locked in, and he just talked to me for like 30 minutes about it. I was like, all right, yeah, you guys are not very good right now, and then they won a chance. So I believe in anything for App.
Yeah, it's always the talk. He gets better with more reps throughout the year, and he's getting better throughout this series. Not a strong start, but since then, he had 9 kills in the map 2 right here. Double positive, 21 and 11 in Guerrillas. 3-0 stomp Empire in map number 3.
And you mentioned, Crim kind of being that X factor. When he's finding success, they're winning. When he's not, they're losing. I think he had 6 or 7 kills over the course of that map 3, and I think you saw there for a second a shot of frustration on his face. Is that couldn't have been fun to play from the Empire side?
Not at all. It's just one of those things when, you don't really get into that setup defensively, right? Where the AR is in a position, power position time and time again, and then they have 2 offenses where they got dominated and you're just stuck in your spawn. Like, what are you supposed to do in that spot? It can be tough for ARs at times, but I mean, it was tough for the entire team. This Guerrillas, their second 3-0 control this season. They look good on raid. Who would have thought?
Yeah, and not that like the opening breaks are everything, but like it is really important just to start the flow of the map. Like you saw Empire have that nice opening break, got them into rhythm in the hard point. Here at the start of those rounds, like Guerrillas just dominated. It's like, I don't know, what's it like when you're just constantly playing on the back foot a couple seconds into the round?
It's not good, right? I mean, you just lose those power positions early on. You're hoping for at least like an even trade, but time and time, it was 3 or 4 that would go down for Empire. And then when they did have a good start at A, Guerrillas, they just got into their setup. They won the next gunfights. They forced them to, have to go at that B site, just completely shut down.
Absolutely, yeah. Guerrillas got hot the end of the map 1, and then they dominate map 2. They dominate map 3. Now in control of this series, up to 1. Hardpoint coming up next. We'll be going to Garrison after the break. Guerrillas dominating the series now, up 2-1. And Joe, at the beginning, when we talked about the maps and modes, I can't remember you or I pointed out, like the map 5 is what looked the best for them. Obviously, the records look good for Empire, considering the year they've had, but you've guaranteed yourself a map 5 now. You're 3-1 on Raid S&D, 1-3 if you're Empire. Yes, you can close it out here, but I think guaranteeing that map 5 is big.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, I mean, 3-1 for Guerrillas on that map, but I mean, I know Garrison looks a lot better for Empire, but the way Apathy's playing, right, you have that sub clearing things. I don't know, man. Garrison is a map where we've seen players just take on over, but here was the game 1. This was a great start for Empire. They had that early momentum. They had the early lead. You see Shotzzy and iLLeY, the two standouts, leading the way. FeLo with 1:38 in the hill time. But it was really iLLeY and Shotzzy. Now it's just a question of can they slow down App?
Yeah, I think you really saw. We've been talking about the dynamic between SMGs and ARs and how important the positioning can be. And I think you saw for FeLo and Crim in that map 1 when they got to their spots and got nice setups. I mean, they were dominating. It was just on the kill feed, Crim, FeLo. Like, they were frying, but you then saw how frustrating it can be on the control when you're constantly pushing into players in power positions.
And I think a lot of people probably write that one down, that we're not going to play Guerrillas on raid control.
And listen, it was a key to victory like 2 months ago, Joe. So just saying.
True. Yeah, I wonder. Was. But again, I mean, they could be 12-0 in the last scrims they've played on the map.
That's true.
I mean,
That's true.
We would never know. We don't see practice every day. But right there, it didn't look good.
No, that's the thing. True. I mean, we just speak about what we commentate, but there's obviously a ton more gameplay that goes on behind the scenes. Not Apathy, who is really heated up in this series. Well, the thing heating him up right now is the explosions from the grenades all exploding around him, but he survives it. He stays up. He wins the gunfight, and we'll see if they can get out to another big opening. I thought it was going to be 3 down, but Crim able to hit some shots, and Empire still here and battling.
Yeah, Silly trying to stay alive, wait for his teammates to come off a spawn. Shotzzy gets into a really good position to cut off the reinforcements, but it's just trade after trade right now in the middle of the map. Okay, Guerrillas had a chance there, maybe, if Crim doesn't get that multi-kill to maybe flip the spawns, at least get top green control. And Empire, they battle on through, battle on back. You can see iLLeY just playing safety right now, making sure nobody gets through as they get set up for this second hill. Guerrilla's going to get the rest of this scrap time. Now, where's that push going to come through? It looks like they're trying to hit through bricks to break this setup.
That's a nice opening pick. You get Crim out of that kind of anchor spot in the back. Give you flood behind it. While Shotzzy and iLLeY were so good at the beginning of that map. 1 hard point. Still trying to hold on, but
dude,
you've got the numbers here. He got the close spawn.
The Apathy almost got that kill. Crim comes off spawn. iLLeY does a great job here. Able to stay alive. Reminds you what we saw in from London. Or from Zaptius in this spot. iLLeY just buys enough time. Crim can then reposition top green. You have the front spawns. It doesn't matter. Now this looks even better for Empire. But number 1, Chino, he does spawn out. So Chino spawns out. So he's going to get on through. But the kills go the way of Empire. You see the top right. Everybody on the streaks. That's 8 kills in a row. They find Chino. They know that could have happened. Now they have a 40-point lead and this rotation to next.
As gunfight win there by Crim. Just make sure they can secure the backside of it. Now you got a bit of a pinch here. We'll see what Shotzzy is able to do as he hits from the other side. Seems like they're ready and waiting, but okay, it does not matter if you're ready and waiting because Shotzzy takes out 2. That'll delay the push even more. Won't delay Apathy. That's tactical might, though, as that stops him for a moment. iLLeY ready, gun up, takes him down. iLLeY and Crim look over. Now to Silly. Trying to hit around the top side of the map.
And this reminds you a lot of map 1. What, 3 hills in a row, basically, for Dallas Empire. At least 2 of the money hills on the map. We saw it on Moscow. We're seeing it here again on Garrison. Assault is able to take down iLLeY, at least get on the point for a couple of seconds. But you're going to have an 80, 90-point lead if you get the rest of this time, and they will. Shotzzy and Crim both going to find kills, and now they're going to try and get pushed up middle of the map.
So they made that big rally in the map 1. They showed they can make the comeback, even if a little bit short, but They turned it around too late. I guess I'm just wondering, can you get it going earlier? Can you start the comeback now because you need to as Crim's on 5 in a row? I want to hear the passion. I want to hear the comms. Let's go. To an Astro listening with the Guerrillas.
Nice, good job.
I'm hitting mid. He's
Just silo, FeLo. Absolute. Really weak silo.
Nice.
Nice, good job.
Beyond you before. Under me. He's a little weak
I'm
before.
repping right. One shot back caution.
There's three before, guys. There's three. I think all three are fighting hill.
Killed me on hill. Another one is caution. After that one's cat steps. Hill.
That caution, Crim.
Oh, green dead.
Turn back caution.
Wrapping. It's truck, FeLo, weak.
We ever get
Truck,
cat
FeLo.
steps?
No, we never killed him. There's two by hill. Two by hill, one's right.
Crim still back caution, just holding it one guy at a time.
iLLeY is BS&E cat steps. Heard bad.
Back world, Crim. Crim, deep world.
Silo.
On time and deep world. On time and deep world.
He's low green.
How much health?
Push on mid-tank.
Nice, Crim, turn me on.
One shot, fellow mid-tank.
Yeah, Fel's blurred on you.
Mid-tank. He's still mid-tank. Gotta go hold this.
So we're gonna bring it back right here. Fellow could be mid.
Trash on you,
Fellow could be square.
Hey, trash on me. Under me green. Left side mid and cat steps.
I'm up again. Trying to left green.
I built some mid. I spun out P3.
Push me green.
Got him. I spun out P3. I'm behind them though. Square.
We got bricks right now. For sure.
One Cat steps and one cell. I got
I'm
repping. Going back mid-tank.
Also.
Tank.
Shotzzy, her bad.
It's spawning in the back of you.
Mid-tank, FeLo dead.
Shotzzy.
It's all me, guys.
Great stud.
Oh, he jumped out.
Shotzzy dead. Three on time. Let's go back. I died on time. He's back up on.
And sound. He's
back up on time. Gonna be upstairs.
They're cutting
They're back.
elbow.
Elbow on me. Low X, guys.
I hear you. I'm
He jumped L.
Jumped in. I had to have.
Two guys fighting me right now.
Xbox.
Two guys bricks. One's arch, one bricks.
I'm looking at Arch.
Bricks,
Nice, arch.
Archilly dead. No, right?
No, he's all spawn. Let's go spawn.
Crim deep pack, absolute on the box.
Dead.
You.
You should spawn here. I'm gonna cut out for you. They're gonna
Right,
short
they could be
that.
back. Ever back bricks.
Back up.
I'm back bricks.
I'm backing up. I'm making sure I'm blocking.
Got the child me.
I don't know, back bricks.
Yeah, back bricks and back tank.
Well, Joe, there's no question. They're fired up. I mean, the comms, I think you said during that, they are active.
Those comms were active, man. Everybody was talking. They were saying literally everything. Sometimes you gotta listen in. You might have one or two players that stand out. Maybe one or two players on the street, a little bit more focused on the gunfights. Everyone right there was giving it all, but they're still down 60, and Crim has streaks, so that's a problem.
Well, first, Crim bouncing back big time. He basically flipped his stat line from that map 3, so great stuff from him, but I guess, was it over-communicating? Was it too much for you?
I mean, I don't think so. I felt like they had a pretty good understanding of what was happening, and that was their biggest swing of
They were
points.
responding to each other, which I thought was the important thing. Sometimes you just hear calls, but saying calling out Arch and Assault saying, I'm picking up Arch, there was a back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of back and forth. I think Assault was probably like the quietest, which is totally okay when you have that many people focused on the comms. I'm totally okay with it, as long as they get it. Maybe for people listening, it might have seemed like a lot, but hey, that's what makes pro players pro players. You got to do all of that and, well, shoot real straight.
I still, it's like an average Call of Duty player, find that to be the hardest thing to communicate while in gunfights. Dude, pros are built different, that is for sure. But that brought it back a bit. They were down a bit over 100, now down 70, but in the hard point still, it is Empire, and it's FeLo on 4 in a row. Him and Crim have been fantastic in the hard points. Now over to Crim's POV up to 18 and 11 before he gets traded out. If you're going to make this rally, I mean, it started around this scoreline last time, right? It's somewhere 200 to 100, somewhere in that ballpark?
Yeah, it was right around here. Yeah, it's going to start with this hill, but you have the streak, right? That's a little bit of a difference from last time to now. In a map like Garrison, it's a little bit slower. You just have to win a set of gunfights. Then you can win a set on rotation. This is, a lot more interactions. You're going to see the ping come in. Sheen's going to try to play his life, but they die on rotation. You see all the purple arrows spawn out. And, well, even without the streak, the break is in. Beautifully done again by Empire from 2 to 3.
You think you learned a lesson maybe from that map 1? Put him away. Don't let him make a run. Crim tries to pre-fire the edge, but Guerrillas will drop 2, make it 3, make it 4. As Silly slides on in and gets to even. They get a crucial break, but they're going to need about 5 more of those if they're going to make this comeback happen. Silly just waiting to pounce, and the long-range SMG shots on point. They'll end up falling.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen this before here at the 4th and the 5th hill, but it's all about mid-map control, right? Because you can kind of get them stuck on the right or the back left side of the map, and you're basically trapped back there. You rely on a couple of players to maybe find some picks or make plays, but the problem is they don't have that position. Empire's in that spot. All the kills are going the way of Empire. Silly's trying to get out, but the mantle, you never want a mantle on a barrel. Sometimes that's just annoying, and that happens to him. They recognize spawns are behind us. 15 more seconds, and we'll be headed to a map 5. Empire, our points looking strong.
24 and 13 now from Crim. Gene struggling in this one. He's been terrific for most of the series, but couldn't get much going here. Crim might be getting more streaks. Not that he'll really have much of a chance to use them, as they need 4 more points. Guerrillas just try to battle it out, but how's the importance of guaranteeing yourself that map 5 regardless of the outcome here? You have a solid go at raid.
Well, and just the way their searches look throughout this year. A top 3 search team since the start. But it's been about these respawns and making sure that they can get to that map 5. Empire just trying to find the last couple of seconds. Shotzzy up to 28 kills. Been an absolute beast throughout these hard points. But Guerrillas staying alive, and now you're kind of in this position, right? You're stuck all the way back, bottom left, trying to get out of this trap.
I feel like I'm watching map 1 again.
It's similar. It feels that way, right? Just the early lead. Dallas just kind of knows they have to rotate. It's one more fight and they win. It's when are they going to win that one fight?
Yeah, I mean, the similarities are endless, but will the outcome be any different? What a comeback it would be if somehow they're able to get it done. Still locking down mid. Empire have just been pinned in this back spawn for the last 40 seconds, just trying to fight out. Maybe behind that nade kill they can do it, but ready and waiting. Still Sheen. Now 3 in a row from him. A swarm of players in front. FeLo finally able to take him down. Silly now getting swarmed with a snapback. Not going to be enough.
Got to another hill, though. They got the contest spot. You have top green.
Are you
they have
kidding
not been
me?
able to
Are
break.
you
have the
kidding
power
me?
position. Apathy's all the way pushed up as well. He's making sure no one can flank them from catwalk side. Or at least try to contest this point. And have a bit of a stalemate here. It's one contest spot versus the other. Crim's going to find that opening duel. That's going to force everybody to move. Crim with another one. He shuts the map down. Finally, Empire. They close it out.
They get it done in the hard point. Yeah, some deja vu maybe there from map 1 as it gets close, but simply too good from Empire early on and just enough late to tie us up and get us to a map 5. But Crim, sensational in the early going, and that one, he was double positive early, got the streaks, a second shot at streaks as well, is a big rebound. You saw the frustration on his face from that map 3. He had 7 total kills over the control. Huge map 4 from him.
Yeah, now it's just a question of their search and destroy. With FeLo has not looked great. They've only played 2 maps and they have 2 losses. But here's a look at the stats from that game 4. Crim and Shotzzy, I mean, just from start to finish, both almost to 30 kills, over 5,000 damage. One thing that stands out for me, look at that P1, only 1 second of time for Guerrillas earned in that position. Same with number 2. Just a great job. But 4 and 5, they had so much control. That's when everything really started to turn around for them. But it was just that early lead, the early going for Empire.
Yeah, you just can't go down like that and expect to bring it back. I mean, I guess I just feel like if Guerrillas start a little bit better, they might be getting victories there, but it's just a 100-point deficit both times in the hard points, something they're going to have to work on. How you fix that, not entirely sure, but they'll sit down with the coaches and VOD and review that, but it all sets up for an epic map 5. We've had 10 maps today through 2 series. I might be going 15. Let's just have a gauntlet here today, but the boys getting fired up. It all comes down to this 5th and final map. Be right back. Joe, if you had to pick the thing that you love the most, in front of you, you had to choose between your wife, your dog, a good old-fashioned map 5, and me. What are you saying?
Okay. E, all of the above.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that because I know that really means me. Thank you, Joe. All right, so here's a look at the maps and modes and how it's broke down thus far is a love tale of Joe and I continues as well. But I'm excited for this raid search and destroy. Methodical. It was from Guerrillas in the map too, and we keep saying it and we'll keep saying it until we see improvements. But we want to see Empire improve in search. Maybe it'll happen here, but Gene took over, combined to drop a bomb. You see 3 and a 2.6 KD in that map too.
Yeah, great game for them, and well, they're going to have to turn it around because momentum just feels like it has shifted. But Yoda, that search and destroy, this has been their bread and butter all year. And for Guerrillas, the storyline has always been, can they steal a respawn? You know, can you get us to that map 5? That map 5 is a place where they're comfortable. They are a great search and destroy team. Now we're here, and now you got to raid, and it's their map pick. They're 3-1 on this map. Dallas 1-3. I think their only map 1 win is what? It's that round 11 that we saw at the major against Ultra, right? That crazy round 11 with all the rotations, the fake with one site back and forth. So we'll see if there's any improvements on this map for them.
I'm going to take a curveball here, which I know you love.
Okay.
How big of a deal do you think momentum is in COD? And I say this because I follow, I can't remember who it is, but one of the fantasy guys for fantasy football on Twitter, and he has always kind of mocked the concept of momentum in sports and how it's not a thing. It's just not. Do you think it is a big deal in COD?
I think it depends on the map. Like, I think why a reason we see a lot of reverse sweeps is because 3 and 4 are respawns, and you go from gunfight to gunfight to gunfight in a map 4, which if your guns are hot, you continue to win that. I think that, but going from like game 1 to game 2, not so much. Same with game 4 and game 5.
No, I feel like I've seen that, like, quote unquote momentum, like, punish people 1 to 2 sometimes. Like, you know, you drop 40, you're flying, winning every gunfight. Yeah, and then you're just you kind of take that same mentality into game 2, and you're just getting first blooded. I think I actually specifically remember talking about Apathy at AW with that. Like, he just destroy map 1, I just watch him fly across the map and get smoked in the map 2. I'm like, slow it down there, pal. I know you can fly. Here we go. Map 5. Empire Guerrillas, and Apathy is greeted by some bullets, and he is the hell out of there.
Yeah, FeLo with the pre-fire through the wall. You see the map positioning here out of Shotzzy and iLLeY. And this is what we usually see from some of the better raid teams. Toronto Ultra comes to mind. It's Bance and Kleenex, or Atlanta FaZe, you know, with Simp and aBeZy controlling courtyard, especially defensively. It's an easy rotation over to both bomb sites. You get a ton of information. Nice shots come through. Shotzzy able to play his life. It's really just a very slow round here out of Guerrillas. We'll see what they rotate off of and do. Apathy is going to get that spot, but I think Chino, he doesn't see much at A. There's only one player who's sort of wrapping on back. But Chino, he's actually going to flank this. He's going to come on through, and it works out. He's so patient in this position. Apathy flies on out. They're able to find the first 2 kills. It takes a minute off the clock, with the bomb being planted towards the B site.
There are some things that are starting to remind me of that World War II team, man. Just the patience, the discipline, the execution. We're not there yet, but maybe glimpses at times. But now, FeLo, you've got work to do, young fella. And before I was done, he is dead. So
I was going to say,
Guerrillas.
What? It's a very slow round, but I kind of liked it. They made sure nobody got our control. They had Apathy spot Zig. But the key player there the whole time was Chino. He was spotting apartment side, making sure nobody flanked. But he was, just wait for me. I'll go upstairs. He's basically making sure that doesn't happen to them, right? The one player at B doesn't, or at A doesn't wrap up those water stairs and help them out. Then he's that player. Shots and iLLeY get taken out, and they just fly from there. Now we'll see what Dallas Empire can do in round number 2.
You mentioned Bance. My stream title has been Fall Bance. It's got a nice ring to it, right?
Yeah, but like you can't. I mean, you can do what you want. You just keep changing. It's like ball Dashy, ball Bance.
Yeah. I can't change my hair color. I can change my stream title. Shotzzy finds a kill. Crim's legs are somewhere on a different map. FeLo now posted up at the rock. What can they do from the post plan as he is one with that push? Assault. Trying to find an angle. FeLo He is just posted. Getting the information on assault, sneaky.
Yeah, this crossfire here with iLLeY. Oh, he's gonna pop one up. He's the point man. The shots connect. Assault. He's hoping he gets one more bullet and then maybe he can snap onto a second. But it's nice aggression. They take laundry control, get that set up. They have the man advantage. It's a lot of angles to check. They know they have to retake laundry. But FeLo was the point man. They gave them nothing because you had iLLeY who was watching his pillars. Then had a FeLo who's making sure that they can't get pushed up ring. That crossfire comes in, and Empire needed that one. And now I can't wait to watch this round, right? Just what do Guerrillas do? How do they switch this up? Because I really like that round number one. But it looks like it's going to be a hard counter at ring here from Empire. All 4 players are here.
Here we go. Right into the mix. App down. Silly down. Assault down. Sheen all alone. He'll try to back it out, and well, it went so fast. He's got a ton of time to work with. A lot of times you'll see these 1v3 clutches. It'll be a scenario like this where you've got a chance to reposition, take your time, pick the opposition apart.
Usually you have the bomb though, right? Like usually
that helps. Yeah.
That is
that's
the
a
one
good point,
thing.
Joe.
They definitely know that he's there in that position. Or maybe you catch someone rotating for the bomb side, but Gene, yeah, they're gonna watch the driveway. And that's what we talk about. You always can't guarantee round wins or even S&D map wins because you can be a great S&D team. But if the opposite side, if you're just getting countered, what are you supposed to do? There's really nothing you can do, right? I mean, that's just a 4 counter. They get smoked, round win Empire.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what team it is. A 4-man hit is just tough to deal with. It really, really is. And FeLo, he's on 4 in a row at 5-1. Yeah, nice play offensively last time from that rock. They get set up again. They're going right back to it, but the numbers are here from Guerrillas as well. Okay, no, they're not. Sheen, Silly, gone. Apathy, trying to be the hero, make the play. Greeted by a nade. Will it be able to take down 2? Turn this round on his head for a moment, but quickly Assault left alone, and FeLo and Empire rolling right now up 3-1.
Well, this kind of reminds me of what we saw in Express, right? I mean, it was just one team dominating offensively and defensively, one bomb site. That was Guerrillas. This time, it's this side. It's ring control. Or Dallas Empire, and I think FeLo, well, he's got to be close now. He stayed alive. He's on 6. If he's able to earn some streaks, or if he already has, if we take a look at him, I don't know if he had an objective.
So, you know, the first round they found success, obviously very patient, very slow.
Did not.
Do you try to back to that? And it looks like that might be the call. I mean, when the heads have collided, Empire has come out on top in a big way. This time a little bit more patient. iLLeY gets aggressive. They're able to catch him.
It's sort of like this trap around Art. Right? They kind of like, please, come on in as we set this up. You have one player watching Zig.
I guess the question for how do you replicate this a little bit better on defense? But let's see if they can get the offensive round win first. This FeLo is still here. He wants these streaks. Can he find one? There are 2 players right on the other side. Shotzzy, those 2 on the flank. He can play Spoiler. And Spoiler, he has played. FeLo then gonna pounce. There's the streaks in. Everybody dropping. Assault now left alone. And Empire can it's like the calm before the storm. Once the storm starts, Empire hit.
Yeah, Shotzzy just finds the timing. Nobody aware of the flank right there. They're starting to work that bomb site. Gets into the spot, finds the kills, and then they collapse on him, and this is all Dallas Empire. Yeah, FeLo, I think he just got the artillery. I don't think he got the cruise missile, so he'll have that to play with. And wow, yeah, you're just going to go right back, right? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And meet us at B.
If it's working.
But on that number 2 at mid, Assault. And you get eyes on the cross through pillars. Okay, well, the only thing he's getting eyes on is the bullets from FeLo. Now they soar forward. They want to take the pressure to him. They'll get in the laundry. There's the first blood again. Dominating it. iLLeY picks it up. Like a herd, they are just soaring forward. They try to wrap back now. Guerrillas do through kitchen. Can they isolate him and find the picks? It's not going to happen. FeLo takes down 2. And it is just a clinic on Raid right now. Yeah, throw all the stats we had out the window. Only 1 win on this map in mode for Empire. Again, we don't see the scrims. We don't see the work. And it's a new squad with FeLo.
Yes, I mean, they're able to make all the plays. But I think for Guerrillas, in what we've seen towards the B side, especially defensively, you've seen a lot of teams just kind of give it up. And then what do? You take art away from them. And quickly, you go mid-map as soon as you know they're going B. What's wrong? They just take art. And then they just kind of try to flush the ring. And if you don't do that, you don't put someone in laundry, but you try to retake it in a 4-on-4. And the 2 times that it's gotten deeper into those rounds, Dallas Empire has found a pick that's given them the man advantage in post-plant around that laundry area. And now you're in a spot where FeLo's going to have this streak. It's not the best defensive adjustments there from Guerrillas, especially towards that B site.
Nice shots from Silly, but Joe, don't you love when a story comes together? We talk about FeLo and his need to make an impact in the search, and well, he's got 10 here in the map 5. His impact certainly felt, but for Guerrillas, maybe it's been a tale of comebacks and coming up short. Maybe when it matters most in the game 5, they can do it, but not if FeLo has anything to say about it. It was a 1 versus 3, now gets it down to 2 players for Silly and Sheen with 30 seconds on the clock. His FeLo is averaging like 2 kills a round right now.
Yeah, he did use the ping, so he's not going to be able to use it. The timing, close, still close, but the trophy's down. He's got to find a second, but Silly, just too many angles to check.
Exactly.
Watching over his teammate. And that default offensive round that Guerrillas has thrown has worked, right? The one time it didn't work was when they went into ring and there was that counter. Besides that, they win the first round. They win this round. The other one was where they had the 3v4 and Shotzzy just flanked. So just giving up ring offensively has worked for them. They just had the 1 mishap happen. It's just been their defense. And again, it's what adjustments are you going to make? Because, yeah, Empire's like, let's keep doing this. Let's have this battle. They're going to try and go 3 inside the ring again.
It's a dance-off! At the ring. Oh, an app. Well, Pop, get that first blood. Assault there as well. Nice little finesse there. The help from Assault. FeLo, good luck. He is caught. He is trapped as Assault gets 3 in the round. And Guerrillas go back-to-back. There's a 5-1 edge for Empire, but crawling their way back in again. You just think, you take enough cracks at a comeback, eventually you're going to make it happen.
Eventually, maybe not this series, but maybe. Yeah, I mean, maybe it'll eventually happen. 5-1, that's...
Hey.
You never know. I mean, yeah, you never know.
3's the lucky charm, right? Like, 3rd try.
Good point. It's a good point, Maeve.
Yeah, I'm filled with wisdom.
What, 7 kills in a row for the entire team. And, I mean, we're just right back to B. It's just nobody's going for an A plan. We don't like it. We don't like it with these 2 teams.
Yeah, let's cut the map in half.
We're just fighting
okay. Oh, it is a gauntlet at mid.
Third time is not it, Maeve.
Third time's not the charm at all. No. They just got slaughtered on the point. As it looks like maybe a comeback in the making again, but Empire, they're not on our watch and shut it down clean and convincing. Not a single kill for Guerrillas in that final round. And, well, we thought it was so crucial to get to a map 5 just based on the stats, but doesn't matter. Empire get the victory, and I mean, the difference in how they looked in game 5 versus game 2. I guess considering one was kind of their good map and one's been kind of their poor map is just wild to me. Like, it's just so much better there. Just dominating.
Well, I mean, both the stories of both searches around one bomb site. One team was really good at B on one map and really good at B on the other. And you just didn't see a lot of adjustments from Guerrillas in that map. Nothing towards the A side. And Empire just kept playing their strengths. That was one of the weirder raids that I've watched. Usually it's all about mid-map control, taking art away from offense, right? A lot of retakes on those bomb sites. We did not see that at all. That was just like the start break off of a hard point time and time again.
Yeah, and there were a couple stories in this, right? Like both teams, with the team changes, both teams trying to rebound from a 3-0 to Ultra. And then the impact of Chino, the impact of FeLo. And in the map too, it was all Chino, right? He dominated that map at 13 kills. But FeLo, the guy we want to see what he do in Search to Destroy and how he could help this team, he was terrific in that map 5.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he really was. And there's 2 stories for both of these teams. For Guerrillas, it's got to get better early on, especially in those hard points.
Yeah, you got to fix that if you're going to go anywhere this year. So something to work on for sure. But let's check out our scuff play of the game. We're going to go all the way back to round 3. And our Joe, we're on the B side if you're wondering.
No surprise there. And this was that early counter from Dallas Empire. The offensive round before this for Guerrillas, it worked out well. It was a much slower round. This time they try to pick up the pace. But so do Dallas Empire. They meet them inside a ring. They take ring control. They say, hey, let's do this. Do the tango time and time again. And they won.
Just wonder if, that's going to be their recipe for success. Like whether it's 4-man retakes or just hitting them at the site and relying on the talent and effective trading to win the battle. I'm not sure where the improvement's going to come from, but it looked good there in the map 5, and we'll be excited to watch that improve as the course goes on. But as we get ready to head to break, we'll watch a very happy Empire celebrating the victory. I might have gassed that up. I don't even think I see anyone smiling, but they got the win. Empire get it done in map 5. Ready to break after that. Lottie and Nameless to break down the match.
Hello, you lovely, lovely people. Welcome back to the desk. And as you can see, it's very busy in Paris right now. It's, look at the traffic, it's stacked. But the one thing that is stacked is the competition here in the Call of Duty League. You can't miss that. Here is our results presented by the US Army so far today. We've seen the Royal Ravens take on Atlanta FaZe 3-2, a very close game. So London, they're on the come up, man. And then our T-Mobile 5G weekly drop game, LAG couldn't quite bring it over the finish line against Dallas Empire, and Empire will close that one out 3-2. But we do have an absolute banger up next. That is banger in French, everybody. We've got Seattle Surge versus NYSL for our Game Fuel marquee match. Whew! Nameless. Wow, what a series, man. I think there's a lot of things to kind of unpack there, and for the most part, my lasting impression of that was FeLo on that S&D. He left a very, very good impression on me. But an impression that was left on you was in the hardpoint, the first hardpoint, I believe. Nameless, what stood out to you there?
Yeah, I mean, this series was a struggle for Empire up until that Game 5. I mean, it was just a slugfest back and forth. They got smoked on that control. But what they did do well in the hardpoint was in the beginning of both hardpoints, they went up by so many points, and you can see here how they did it, right? Like they They got P1, P2, incredible job. And then on P3, LAG was set up. They push around the back. They're waiting on each other for these gunfights. They win each and every gunny around the back bank. They win a gunfight through elbow, and they get into the hill, and they have a great setup here where they're winning the gunfights left and right. But something is happening in the middle of these hard points for Empire, and I can't quite put my finger on it because it seems like they just get frantic and start to fly out and challenge one by one. They were getting broken way more often. They're feeding players like silly streaks. These are things that absolutely cannot happen, and Empire's starting these games off great, and then somewhere along the lines a switch is flipped and they start to lose track of themselves. But like you said, got to the S&D in Game 5, they turned up when they needed to, and this is definite progress from what we saw in the first match. And like we said in the pre-show, progress is great. They need to stay confident and continue to make it.
Absolutely, and I think also on the flip side, diving deeper into that, I feel like if you're LAG, you can't let your foot off the gas there. I mean, the control was so good, and the outslaying there led Crim himself to have a really poor KD in that control. But then, look, his mindset, the way that he works, that won't last very long because he flips it around and just has a stellar game in the hard point, and you can't let your foot off the gas. Capitalize on those weaknesses when you can and really just keep pushing forward. I feel like LAG could have done a bit more damage there to Empire, but nevertheless, it wasn't a win for LAG today. I have some questions, Nameless, about our next opponents, New York Subliners. I want to know from your perspective what New York have to do today to really start to show, you know, which New York are we going to be seeing, because they've been hot and cold as of recent. Which one do you think is going to turn up?
Yeah, well, they're going up against Surge, and where New York has been weak in their last 2 games since picking up HyDra has been the Search and Destroy. Now, Hardpoint's been fine. They're 4-0 in Hardpoint, undefeated since they picked up HyDra. He plays like an absolute vet in that game mode, but in Search and Destroy, it has been a struggle. So sometimes when you see these players come in, the players that are now beasts, like Shotzzy, like Formal, it takes them a bit to figure out Search and Destroy. We've seen it happen before with some of our Super Slayer type players, and HyDra just might be one of those guys, right? He just has a knack for picking up and respawn and Search and Destroy. He's going to take them some time. So they're still learning themselves, but in this series, I think they're going to be the New York we all know and love because they're going up against Surge in that control. New York should be able to take that. I mean, Surge is the worst control team that we have in our league. And then in Search and Destroy, Surge haven't been that incredible either. So maybe it's a wash there. The Hardpoint heavily in favor of New York, especially with what we've seen from HyDra. I expect them to take both of those maps.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And I think, you know, S&D, like you said, it takes time to learn, especially with like a new team and a new addition on the team. But I think it does kind of show our best teams and where they're at with S&D, because you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it unreadable and keep switching things up there with Search, because otherwise you're just going to get absolutely pummeled by opponents if you keep doing the same stuff. I'm excited to see what New York Subliners come up with today and whether they are going to be hot or cold. But I'll tell you what, we do have a Game Fuel Victory Spotlight to get to, and I'm going to be joined by FeLo from Dallas Empire to see exactly what he thought about that series and where the Empire are at.
There he is.
Hello everybody and welcome to your Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. Joining me I have FeLo from Dallas Empire. FeLo, I've got to say first of all, a job well done in that series. That was very exciting for all of us COD fans over here. Now it's been a crazy couple of weeks in the COD scene and the news of you joining Empire broke the timeline. And obviously, sub to main roster, it's been a very big transition, and with the pressure on your shoulders, how have you found that transition going on to the main roster?
You know, I've been outside of the league for about a year and a half now, ever since Black Ops 4. So for me, this is my opportunity, man. And to be able to do it with such a good group of people, such a good franchise, and especially after the year they had last year is an absolute blessing. And at that point, the ball is in my court. You know, it's up for me to come out here and perform and to try to make these guys as comfortable as possible, even on the short notice, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what, FeLo, you're doing a phenomenal job of that. It's really, really cool to see you on the starting lineup and what you're doing right now. That search at the end, mwah, chef's kiss, love to see it. I've got to ask you though about the hard point, because both your hard points looked pretty identical. Very strong start, very, very strong. Middle towards the end seemed like you couldn't really close it out as nicely as possible that you guys wanted to there. What did that come down to? Is it a communication thing? Is it something gameplay related? What was going on?
So I think the biggest takeaway there is, you know, the good thing is when we get moving, you know, we're on point. I think a lot of it comes down to, one, I'm a completely new fourth to these guys. You know, it's my first time playing with them. And then on top of that, you know, Ender is running a sub. So that definitely changes the entire dynamic of the team. So I just think in those moments when, you know, things finally stop going our way, we just got to slow down a little bit and think a little bit bigger picture and, you know, just take our time on the map. And that's something that obviously I think we'll get better at as time goes on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, FeLo, thank you so much for joining me here for the Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. It's been an absolute pleasure, and best of luck going forward for Stage 3.
Thank you, Lottie.
Well, there you have it. We've heard from FeLo himself. He's the new man around town here in Dallas Empire, and they are making moves, that is for sure. Strength to strength, and I'm excited to see where they go next. And talking about next, where are we going? We're going to our Game Fuel marquee match. We've got an absolute banger on the line for you guys. We do have NYSL versus Surge to look forward to, and we'll be seeing you guys right after the break.